Steelers made a couple of free agent acquisitions. They brought in Trey Turner. They had to. DeCastro goes down. He's now here, a Pro Bowler. They bring in Melvin Ingram, another Pro Bowler, to help because of lack of depth behind Highsmith and Watt. So, Mark Kaboly of The Athletic, tell me who's going to be more important to this team. Is it going to be Turner or is it going to be Ingram when the season ends?
I think it's no doubt it's going to be Melvin Ingram. I mean, this is a guy he can bring the pass rush from all different sides. He can play multiple positions. He provides depth. I know he had a banged up knee last year and maybe even the year before a little bit, but I think he fits in perfectly with what the Steelers want to do on the offense. Defense, I don't think there's a lot of transitioning right there. As for Trey Turner, these first 4 days of OTAs, I am, how can I put it politely, very underwhelmed from what I saw from Trey Turner. I know it's early. I know there's no pads on, and things can change when you put the pads on. But he looks like a guy that's been coming off some injuries and is a very in-the-box type of player. If that's how you want to use him, you're going to have to use him that way. I think how it looks like to me right now, like I said, there's a big caveat if it's early, is I think by the middle of the season you're going to say, I wish we had DeCastro back from last year.
Mark, you love Pro Football Focus, right? You're a big fan of that, and they rated him
very. I'll pair with sabermetrics.
But Bob, you asked that question, and you added the clause at the very end saying, by the end of the season. If you're asking the question, who's more important to them right now, Trey Turner turning out and developing and being what they need him to be is more important. You have options outside linebacker. You had two starters. It's almost as if, I don't want to say it's a luxury, because you certainly can't depend on not having an injury throughout a 17-game season at two positions. So you need to have that depth, and they had nothing proven there really outside of Cassius Marks, which that's not proven. So you need that guard. I don't know exactly where they're going to turn if Trey Turner doesn't work out or if he's not deemed not starting caliber. So if you ask that question, who's more important to have a good camp and be ready to go for opening day, I would definitely say Trey Turner. But if you're asking by the end of the season, I'm with Mark, and I believe that Melvin Ingram will be the better for the Steelers.
Yeah, I think we're all saying the same thing here. We all expect Melvin Ingram to be a better player than Trey Turner because he's got, I think, a better body of work. He might not have the Pro Bowls that Turner has amassed, but there's an idea there that if Ingram is healthy, and he was 2 years ago, that you get a great 1-2 punch the way the Chargers had with Bosa and Ingram, the way the Steelers had with Bud Dupree and T.J. Watt. So I've got confidence that Ingram can do that once he gets adjusted to the system. The Turner thing bothers me a lot because I know that there were slim pickings by the time the DeCastro decision was made, but he looks to me like a guy that's over the hill, past his prime, and has seen better days. And I don't know what they're going to do there. Plug B.J. Finney in? If Turner can't turn it around, I don't know. I mean, to me, that's a sign that the Steelers have what I believe they've had all offseason, the worst offensive line in the AFC.
All right, speaking of the offensive line, Mark, let me ask you this now. Since it is new, they got 5 new position players essentially. Many of them are young. Typically, Mike Tomlin is not going to play starters in preseason games, but this year, doesn't he have to? I mean, a lot, given the fact that they have to develop some cohesion heading into that first game in Buffalo. This is a bad schedule, tough schedule. They can't afford to come out slow. How much does he play those guys?
I agree with you. I think they do need to play him, especially the offensive line. You could hold back with some of the other guys, T.J. Watts, Roethlisberger, et cetera. But, I mean, you need some cohesion on that offensive line. However, I think the way the Steelers look at it, and I don't know if it's right or wrong, we'll find out, is it's much worse to go into the season with somebody who's banged up or injured or not 100% out of that main core 5 than having those guys, at the top of their game at that point. So I think that's the way they're going to go. They're not going to play most of these offensive linemen or their starters at least until after the Hall of Fame game. And they're probably not going to play them in the final game here. So you got a very short window to get Chooks, Dotson, Banner all on the same page. And I think we're going to see that trickle into the regular season where you're going to see that line and that running game struggle early in the season and continuously get better as you go on. But it might be too late by then because the early part of the season is somewhat should be easier than the late part. So, I mean, they're in a little bit of a pickle, I think, of what they choose to do.
Yeah, their offensive line, we know, was a question mark. And obviously, if you're moving that stat by Aditi or that fact by Aditi Kinkabala saying that no team, or only 3 teams in the last 30 years have started 5 different players, different positions in the offensive line to start a season. We knew there's be a lot of turnover. We knew a lot of trusted veterans for a long time. And not to say these aren't the right decisions, that everything they did, but we knew it was going to be, at best, you could the most optimistic would say it's a big question mark, and you don't know how it's going to turn out. Now, you don't hit the panic button 4 days into training camp, of course, but now you have your tackles aren't practicing. The guy who you depend on, who, by the way, is only a second-year player with only, 7 career starts, who went to a Sun Belt school, is the guy you were most counting on and you believe is your biggest rock. He's also not practicing, and we'll see. And this is probably nothing, but we were probably saying, a lot of people were saying that the DeCastro thing was probably nothing. We've seen plenty of injuries before that we think's probably nothing, and it turns out being something. So right now, you're talking Rashard Coward playing, Joe Haig play. I mean, you think the line is in trouble now. If one of these injuries is long term or plays out, it's even worse.
Bob, usually I'd accuse you of bias here because you're going to call these preseason games and you do an extraordinary job and you want the best players out there. But in this case, I agree with you. I believe you get what you pay for in life, Bob. You can get behind that. When you don't invest a premium pick in an offensive lineman, you don't use a first-round pick, you don't use a second-round pick, and you don't spend big money on those guys in free agency, no big free agent contract to an offensive lineman, how do you expect it to be good this year? Just guys in new places. Chooks is a natural left tackle. Kendrick Green, with 5 games of college experience at center, is going to get all the calls and get these guys to coalesce together. I don't know. I think that's a huge ask.
Yeah, I think that's going to be one of the things we'll be focusing on. Real quick, around the horn, I need 10 seconds each. Steven Nelson, how big of a loss is it? I think a lot of people thought maybe he would come back here. Chris, he ends up signing with the Eagles. They're pretty thin at that division, at that position too. So is that a big loss for them?
You can't sit here and convince me and tell me that Steven Nelson wouldn't make this team. So by that sense, yes, it's a loss. I mean, they can't be better without him than they are with him.
I'd rather have Steven Nelson on the field than Antoine Brooks or Artie Mullet or whatever the guy's name is. This dude they brought in from the Jets off the scrap heap. So, yeah, Bob, you coupled that with the Hilton loss, and I think they miss him.
I think Antoine Brooks could be a pretty decent player. I mean, he is a guy that fits that position pretty nicely. It's all going to hinge on what he's able to do. But Nelson, $4 million, that seems like that's pretty affordable to me. That tells me he gave the Steelers potentially the middle finger, saying, I don't want to come back there. Because if not, $4 million is very cheap for a guy like Steven Nelson.
All right, we're going to take a break on that note. When we come back, Penguins draft. They lost a couple of players in the expansion draft. We'll talk about it next right here on the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown.